Good afternoon. My name is Pierrick Ferrier. I had the privilege to lead the Venus mission, the cooperation between France and Israel during this past year. And I would like to introduce Mr. Zhang-Iv לה-גאל. Mr. Zhang-Iv לה-גאל is the CNES president, the French Space Agency. He will present the cooperation between France and Israel, the past and future cooperation, and in space activity, and he will do it along with Mr. Aviv Blesberger, the ISA General Director.
Now it's already good afternoon. So as Mr. Pierrick said, we will start with CNES ISA past, current, and future cooperation. And the presentation will be about the Venus, successful cooperation and the future prospect, and additional running technologies that we are doing together with CNES, and we will speak about the future mission. We will change the order, and we will start with the current and future, which I will present. And then Mr. לה-גאל will present mainly the Venus and the prospect of that. So currently we are doing with CNES a few technological projects which shows that cooperation between agencies should not be only on a big mission or a space or satellite. We can do it also on technology. I have here two examples which we are doing together. One is the ORMAD, which is a sensor to test the environment in space, mainly the UV environment and the radiation. And together with TERM, which is a French sensor, that can measure real-time solar absorbivity, we can, if we combine them together, we can have a correlation between the real-time space environment and material aging. Another project which we can, it's different type of project. There is a technology in Raphael, gyro MEMS, which is currently used for various applications, and we would like to adapt it to space application, and we are providing the MEMS, and the French side is doing the testing to allow it to test if it is capable to work in space environment. Another type of cooperation. And during the launch of Venus, we already agreed together with CNES to look for the next mission. Or even before the launch of Venus, we started to speak about the next mission. We have several meetings about that. We have a list of possibilities of joint mission. From that list, the French side and the Israeli side chosen two missions to do pre-phase A and to choose one of them to do pre-phase A during 2018. The first one was GNSS radio occultation constellation of nanosatellite toward the more accurate knowledge of the atmospheric and the ionospheric with a low-cost constellation. As you can see, in this mission there was a joint team of scientists, and the The idea was with the current constellation of GPS, GLONASS, Galileo, and other, and with the nanosatellite on the other side, you can measure the radio occultation, and this information give you the pressure, temperature, water vapor, and electron content in the atmosphere. The idea was to use a high-gain deployable antenna that can be matched to a nanosat with an accurate receiver, and you can do the proof of concept of this idea. The other mission that was tested was a mission, combined mission of what we call cloud, microspectro, and Zeus. This is also, as you can see, is a mission with scientists from both sides on each instrument. This mission can demonstrate an innovative and low-cost solution for Earth observation mission. In this mission, we will have the idea. Before the pre-phase A, the idea is to have 3 6U satellites. On each of them, there will be 3 instruments. One is for the cloud, and one is for the microspectro, and the third one is for Zeus. They will be looking on the same area from 3 different angles, and with that, they can have a 3D picture of the clouds, and multiple spectroscopic of measurement of content of vapor, and the 3D picture of image of the lightning. From the 3 of them, we will be able to learn about cloud formation, which is, even though we was researched a lot, it's still not known all the root cause of that. Since we decided to have only one pre-phase mission in 2018, so in agreement with CNES, between CNES and ESA, we chosen the mission of Cloud, Microspectro, and Zeus. That will be continued as a pre-phase A during 2018, and the decision to do full-scale development, I hope, will be announced here next year Ilan Ramon conference. Of course, it is this decision will be according to the result of the pre-phase A and all other constraints, but we hope that we can do this announcement next year here. Now I will invite Z'a'n-Iv to give the main presentation.
Okay, so good afternoon, as you say. And first of all, I want to thank the Israel Ministry of Science, Technology and Space and the Israel Space Agency for organizing this conference, which, as every year, is an outstanding success to honor the memory of Ilan Ramon, who now departed 15 years ago. And the conference has become a must-attend event for the international space community. I want also thank you for inviting me to share with this community our successful joint Venus mission. We launched it, I will come back on that last August, and say that it is a great pleasure for me to speak in tandem with Aviv. So I would like to start to say a few words about France and Israel in space, because our two countries have forged long-standing and successful ties in space, paving the way for CNES and ESA to develop the Venus mission, Venus means the vegetation and environment monitoring on a new microsatellite. Venus is a vegetation monitoring satellite at the cutting edge of innovation that is already making a major contribution to environmental research. As I said, we launched Venus during the night of 1st to 2nd of August last year from the Guyana Space Center, atop of European Vega launcher, mostly developed in Italy. And it was the 10th successful launch of Vega. I want to insist on the fact that since its first launch a few years ago, Vega had only successes, and since the Venus launch, we performed another launch of Vega. And so it was a launch of Vega carrying two Earth-observing satellites, Venus and OBSAUT 3000, on behalf of the Israel Ministry of Defense and of Italy Ministry of Defense, and both satellites were built by IAA, and I want to thank IAA for this outstanding work. And we had a total payload of 990 kilograms, and this flight also marked Israel's return to French Guiana more than 20 years after its last launch from European spaceport. Now I would like to say a few words about Venus. As I said, Venus is dedicated to delivering new insights into plant growth cycles and dynamics, and to understanding how climate change is impacting vegetation. The mission will therefore be crucial to implementing the Paris Agreement endorsed at the COP21 conference, and in the wake of the One Planet Summit organized by President Emmanuel Macron in Paris last December. It is also pursuing the technological objective of fly qualifying the Israeli All-Effect Thruster IHAT system. And today I am proud to say that since 2005, our two nations have pooled their resources, worked together, and share the leading-edge technologies to make this joint effort a great scientific and technological success. Venus combines a multispectral high spatial resolution of 5 meters with a high revisit rate of every 2 days, covering 110 sites of scientific interest for monitoring vegetation all around the globe. It is thus set to yield a rich harvest of data, not only for scientists, but also for the entire space international community. And I can tell you that for CNES and ESA, working together on such an ambitious project has provided a great opportunity for teaming world-class engineers and scientists. As early as on 16th of August, 2 weeks after the launch of Venus, Venus was already sending back its first images, giving a glimpse of the kind of data of vegetation it will be collecting in the years ahead. The satellite's ability to acquire imagery frequently and in rich spectral data at such spatial resolution is a world first, and it will enable scientists to better understand and model changes in land surfaces induced by climate and human factors. In other terms, we observe the vegetation and we observe the changes in the vegetation, and from that we deduce the impact of climate change on the vegetation. And I am happy to say this morning that the satellite is in great shape. It is currently completing its operational qualification phase, and it will be ready to deliver imagery fully matching mission specifications by the end of the first quarter of this year, so it will be in a few weeks from now. I would like now, if I may, to dwell for a moment on the One Planet Summit that brought together in Paris a great number of decision makers from around the world with a view to thinking about how we can innovate to tackle climate change and to sustain and step up the pace of our efforts to do that. I would firstly like to thank the Israel Space Agency once again for its unwavering support for the initiatives France has put forward since COP21 and for the creation of a Space Climate Observatory, which is one of the 12 commitments made at the One Planet Summit. Tackling climate change is a top priority for France, to which the space sector is making an active contribution. Satellites are vital tools for studying and gaining new insights into climate change in order to mitigate its effects and help societies devise coping strategies. As it has been said by Jan Werner a few minutes ago, out of the 50 essential climate variables or ECVs defined by the Global Climate Observing System, GCOS, 26, which is more than half, can be observed only from space. This is why cooperation between the world space agencies is key to leveraging individual efforts, as set out in the Mexico Declaration on Climate and Natural Disasters in 2015, and the New Delhi Declaration on Greenhouse Gases and the Marrakesh Declaration on the Water Cycle at the COP22 in 2016. The proposal to set up the Space Climate Observatory will give more momentum to our efforts, highlighting the key contribution of space technologies to tackling climate change and created a kind of hub between space agencies and the international scientific community. It will also allow standards to be defined in order to pool climate data acquired from space and make them readily available to this community. I am therefore delighted to see that the best space engineers have developed Venus together to help scientists the world over to advance knowledge about climate change and its impact, and that our cooperation is set to continue in the years ahead, as it has been stated by Aviv. Because tackling climate change truly is one of the biggest challenges we have in front of us in the 21st century. Now, I would like to say a few words about the France-Israel year, because we are going to have this very important event from June to November. And so, this France-Israel year is planned this year, and it is organized under the aegis of the Institut Français and the Israel Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And I am sure that it will be a fantastic opportunity to raise the profile of French-Israeli space cooperation, and in particular to speak about the Venus project. Several key events will be taking place here and in France, with a special mention for the Toulouse Space Show on 26-28 of June in Toulouse in France, and probably another event in early June here in Israel. In addition, we will have a France-Israel Science Seminar, which will be organized this autumn, once science data from Venus have been analyzed again with the framework of the France-Israel year. You clearly understood that we have many, many successes, but you clearly also understood that we plan that our cooperation have a very, very shining future. I hope that you will take home from today's conference that the launch of Venus was not an end, but just a beginning. The beginning of even closer cooperation in space between France and Israel, not only in the field of science and technology, but also on the human side, because our cooperation is above all down to the men and women who have worked together and given their very best. It is clear that without them, nothing would be possible. That is why, encouraged by the success of Venus, CNES and ESA are now looking at a new joint climate monitoring mission, and Avi explained that we are going to study the clouds. I'm certain that France-Israeli cooperation has a very, very bright future to look forward to, and for that, I am very, very pleased to have the opportunity to present our results with Avi, to speak about the successes of Venus, to speak about our future, and to tell you that both France and Israel have together the spirit of space. Thank you very much.